Good afternoon, Christmas. Good afternoon, everybody. Hope you're all well. We're doing well, thank you. And we're about to light up some Barnaget blend, high pipe head, which was sent to me by some spirits. This is not just a baggie. I mean, that's probably 4 or 5 ounces in. I've tried it once or twice, but we'll try to give it a decent try out today. I don't know why, but my charger is messing me around. It's not very happy, and my phone is going to die. I had this once before. It seems really weird sometimes on an iPhone. It's just not happy with a particular charger. I should have a battery here somewhere. Let's see if that works. Hi Andy. Expecting a 515 RC and 507 stove today in the mail to attempt more London fog since no Virginia woods can be found. 507, what is that supposed to be a match for? $6:30 AM. Well, that's a good way to start the day. Nice bit of bullseye. Why not? Why not indeed? Well, I'm just after lunchtime. Although I haven't had any lunch, I'm going to have my standard coffee. I do have some sushi downstairs in the fridge waiting. I am on quite a bit of a sushi kick at the moment. But we'll leave that for a bit later on. Somebody put a comment this morning on one of my videos. I was talking about smoking the dottle at the bottom of bowls and things like that. And let me just read that message. Uncle Phil's cellar. You're right. I've known some old codgers or old smokers to dump the dottle in tins to smoke at the end of the week before they had enough money to buy their next couple of ounces, which is just goes to show what people will, how they make do. Beardless Gnome Joe, how you doing? Theo Zislav, whatever. 12:30 in Sydney. Waiting on some Solani, white and black and aged barley. Have any opinion on these two? No, I don't, because aged burley flake I've tried but didn't particularly like, so didn't smoke it much enough to be able to give a real comment on it, an observation on it. I don't think you can really give any proper comments unless you've smoked something pretty regularly. Most of the videos that I do on tobaccos are all first impressions. I don't do reviews as such, simply for that reason. Because however much I smoke a tobacco, you know, we all have different perceptions of tobacco. So I don't presume to be able to tell somebody else what he should expect from a tobacco. I can say how I'm experiencing it. So I don't do reviews as such. I'm sure there's other people out there like Stuff and Things who do fantastic reviews. But I prefer to stick to just, you know, first impressions. But aged barley I have tried, but wasn't a big fan at the time. But you know, like with lots of tobaccos, you come back to stuff and it seems better sometimes, or you go back to a tobacco that you've liked in the past and then you don't like it again. So it swings and roundabouts. And white and black I don't think I've tried yet. Solani's. The only Solani that I've really tried on any kind of basis is the Silver Flake. Stoved Reds and Brights, and that's presumably the 507 pipe head, yeah? Yeah, I think people, you know, Chris, it's a different world. It's really a different world. I was watching Old Pops' video. I was trying to find his account, and I finally found it this morning by looking at his comments on somebody else's video. And he's got a video called State of a State of the Union kind of address, the State of the Pipe World, or the YTPC address. And I think people have been trying to dramatize this whole the issue based on the video that the Artful Codger did, and which I followed up on, about people making too much of an issue out of chasing the difficult blends and making it all about everything other than sitting and relaxing with a pipe. So he put his own version of it on, which is absolutely fine. Yeah, but the older generation, you don't get the impression that there was hundreds and hundreds of different blends for people to choose from. You get the impression that there was probably 20 or 30 mainstream blends in each country, and there wasn't this across Atlantic kind of exchange of tobaccos and sale of tobaccos overseas. I'm sure that very, very rarely happened. So a Dunhill tobacco which was blended on the spot for you at Jermyn Street or one of those original Dunhill shops would never have found its way to the US unless somebody had come to this country on a visit and taken some back with him. So people would find their OTCs and that's what they would smoke and that's what they would stick with. But the world nowadays is a different world. I don't think, personally, that's just me personally, I don't think that it's relevant. I don't think that argument is relevant about people saying go back to basics and smoke your OTCs, smoke your Captain Black and smoke your Carter Hall and nothing else. I don't think that's a relevant argument. It's just not of the times. When people like possibly the Artful Codger, and I don't mean this in a disparaging way whatsoever, he's a great guy, but when people like him started smoking possibly 30 years ago, I don't know how long ago he started, but let's say somebody like that who started 30 years ago and possibly didn't have that array of tobacco, that was their life, that was their tobacco life at the time, that was their option. You know, they had a half a dozen or a dozen or maybe more tobaccos to choose from, and that was it. Nowadays you have the choice. They didn't have it then, so it's perfectly understandable that an old codger who was on a very tight budget would keep the dottle at the end of each pipe and then at the end of the week smoke it if he didn't have enough money to buy more tobacco. It's perfectly understandable. That was of those times, and nowadays it's just not applicable. It's a different world, and for people to it's very nice and poetic, if you like, to hark back to those old times and reminisce fondly, but it's really looking through not rose-tinted glasses, but old grey-tinted glasses. That's my opinion anyway. I think people should enjoy the hobby in whichever way they see fit, and whichever works for them. I'm certainly one that enjoys a wide selection of tobacco. Hi, Mike. And a really quite a wide selection of pipes. And I'm not a hoarder of pipes, so if I'm not smoking a pipe, I will pass it on or sell it on or trade it or anything like that. And, you know, that was also part of the argument about smoking a single pipe or one or two pipes and just smoking it to death kind of thing. Again, it's what works for you. It's taken me a good couple of years to really get a bit of an understanding of the type of pipes that I like, and you can see that coming through slowly in my collection. I'm still adding to the collection, more slowly than I used to, but I've got a nice couple of pipes coming in the next few days, hopefully. And they're actually not filtered, so those are going to be converted probably. No, one of them is filtered, and the other one isn't. Northeast Piper UK. Good afternoon. Thomas, how you doing? Long time no speak. Yeah, a live chat that's not in the night time. I've come home relatively early and the house is quiet, everybody's out. So I thought I'd get on and say hi to everybody. Anyway, I got off talking about something and just kind of went off on a little bit of a monologue. So we'll get back to what we originally were talking about, which was getting back onto some Latakia blends. So that's Barnaget, which I got from Art Pipes and Spirits. So I smoked a bowl of Northwoods this morning, a delightful bowl of Northwoods this morning in this bent Astley. It was absolutely delicious, I'm pleased to say. Hey Sam, how you doing? Nice to see you again. So I'm going to smoke the same pipe again. I'm starting to codge it. One pipe after the next in the same pipe. Naughty, naughty. This doesn't smell... I have smoked this once or twice. Hi Pipe Man. I've smoked it once or twice. But I remember at the time when I smoked it and I did the first impressions that I thought it was a pretty good sort of challenge to Northwoods for me. But I haven't smoked it anywhere near enough to have an opinion, a real opinion of it. As I say, I've only smoked it a few times, and Northwoods I've been smoking for a good couple of years. And had a delightful bowl of it this morning, I'm pleased to say. It's been almost a year now, you know. It's been almost a year, November, December last year, that I went over to filters and over to Virginia tobacco. It's been almost a year that I've smoked Latakia with any kind of regularity. Is that also by Sutliff, Mike? You've got Northwoods blended with McClelland Virginias. Hi there, OCD Piper. Well, I've only had my first bowl today in I don't know how many weeks. And I would say in about 10 months, it's probably about the third or fourth bowl that I've had. But today's was by far the best I've had in a very long time. It was absolutely delicious. Northwoods is quite a bit darker than this, although when you first get it, it can be a bit brighter, but there's quite a lot of sort of brighter and medium brown tobacco in there, and these dark ones are going to be the Latakia and the Oriental tobacco. All right. So I think I'm going to smoke the same pipe as I said. And the good thing about it, about smoking the Northwoods now with a filter, is that Northwoods, I smoked it without a filter originally. And I used to get tongue bite after 2 or 3 bowls. And after 2 or 3 days, I would then be in serious trouble usually. Usually my tongue would be pretty sore. So at least I get the advantage of not getting bitten, which obviously I've had with all the Virginias especially, but It's like discovering it a little bit. It's a little bit like discovering it anew. So who did I say that to? Hang on. That was it Mike in Austria? Somebody said they were smoking a replacement for Elizabethan. Yeah, Mike. What make is it? See you, the OCD. Thanks for joining. Are you talking about Mike? Is that the Wellhour one or the what's his name? Oh, it's Robert McConnell, right? And do they taste the same? On the first part of this bowl, I would say that this Barnaget, Collards and Cop, right? That's I think I mentioned it yesterday or the other day in a video. This one is lighter, I think a lighter touch than Northwoods. Northwoods is a bit richer, a little bit sweeter, whereas this is a little bit milder, a little bit more harmonious possibly. It's a nice smoke. There's enough sweetness in there. SL Pipe Smoker, how you doing? Well, I don't know who was making Dunhill. It was it Orlick till now? And I think Orlick in turn is owned by British American Tobacco, possibly, or the Scandinavian group. I get confused. This it's the family tree of some of these tobacco companies is just the heritage, the lineage is just ridiculous. One company owns the next company, and the next company owns. It's the same with cars. You got BMW, I think, owns Rolls Royce and Range Rover, I think, and things like that. You know, nothing is what it seems. Yeah, you're right, Piper Dog. He's been he's a big fan of Elizabethan. I've got to say that this Barnaget, it's slightly different, but it's fantastic. See you, Ross. Don't speak with your mouth full as well. This Barnaget is lighter. It's definitely lighter. And if I had to guess, I would say that it's less on the Orientals and it's more on sweet Virginias. I wouldn't be surprised if there's a fair bit of Cavendish in there. I'm not getting Burleys, but maybe there is some. And it's a fairly lightweight, sweet Latakia flavour in there. It's really nice, I must say. I just wonder if this is a rebranded tobacco. Well, Northeast. It's been. Good afternoon, John. How are you doing? It's been Northwoods for quite some time. Northwoods has been my number one for quite a long time in terms of Latakia blends. But I did go through quite a number of different blends. I really enjoyed Balkan Blue. I still have a few tins of that by McClelland. I enjoyed Seattle Pipe Club Plum Pudding and Plum Pudding Special Reserve. I haven't smoked that for a while. Mississippi River took me a while to understand. When I first smoked it, I got nothing from it. Very little flavour, and I just couldn't get my head around the concept of exactly what it was. But when I went back to a jar, literally a year and a half later, it started to make sense. I haven't smoked it enough really to continue that exploration of Mississippi River, but those are some of the Latakia blends that I've been enjoying in the past. My only reservation with the Seattle Pipe Club stuff is that most of it comes in cake form, and I really don't like cake tobacco. I prefer a flake, or a broken flake, or a roughly rubbed out flake, and medallions as well. It's been so long since I've smoked Star of the East, so I just don't remember what it is. You'll have to rely on that video, I'm afraid. Well, Dublin, depends what you're after. If you like a Christmassy, Christmas kind of spice, then go for something like that. Star of the East and Quiet Nights are supposed to be clones, not clones, perhaps not intentionally, perhaps they were, but they're supposed to be similar to Penzance. If you watch that video that I made, that three-way shootout, between Quiet Night, Star of the East and Penzance, then there are differences. And I think on the day I was preferring Quiet Nights, if I'm not mistaken, if my memory serves me well. I know it wasn't Penzance on the day. And like any tobacco, it really depends on how things are going in your life, how your pipes are, what the weather's like, you know, all the usual stuff, how your mouth sort of is doing. So many things. John, your feed last night was very, very hard and frustrating to follow. It could be that mine's doing the same. I've got no idea. It's very hard to know. Again, Ross, I'm sorry, but I don't remember. I haven't smoked it enough since then. I smoked it at the time, but it's not a blend that I'm intimately familiar with. So, oh, well done, John. Good, glad to hear that. I don't remember if I did a VR for you, John. Did I do one? I've got a sneaking suspicion that this is a clone of something else. It's really very, very good. It's mild, but there's enough of everything in there to make it an enjoyable smoke. I would say this is more of an anytime smoke than Northwoods even. Although I could smoke Northwoods a fair amount, but this is milder. But it's got the same profile in terms of the Latakia, in that it's sweet, it's musty, it's sweet and sour, but it's not too campfirey. I don't like the bitter, acrid campfire Latakia smokes. I'm really curious to know if this is something like early morning pipe or that kind of thing. It wouldn't surprise me. Hi Paulus. I could, I guess, add some Perique to that, but that would make it, I think, quite similar to Northwoods. And I think the beauty of this particular blend is its light touch. I'm so impressed with this. It's really early days. You know, I've only had a few bowls, but it's yeah. Most of the English blends are a bit of a kitchen sink. Most of the Latakia blends, not all, but lots of them. Let me just see, I might well have still from that original video some Star of the East and Quiet Nights. I just don't remember. Well, Joe, I would definitely recommend that you try this stuff out. Okay, we've got some Star of the East. There's maybe a bowl, one or two half bowls left. So we'll have to try that again. (2013) 3 Nuns. Not a big fan. I'll have to revisit that at some point. Hello, Black River. Hello from Black River, sorry. Hello, Calemos Los Brutos. That's the 2014. Mississippi Mud. This one was actually quite nice as well. This one was from 2004. So Mississippi Mud from Cornell and Deal. That smells pretty good. It's going to be pretty smooth because of the age, but I did enjoy it. but I've only smoked it once or twice. Quite nice. Here we go. I've still got them. And this one is about the same amount left. There's about a bowl, maybe 2 bowls left. So maybe I'll revisit that 3-way shootout, possibly. That could be interesting. Maybe I'll do one with a few blends. Maybe I'll add Northwards into that, and perhaps this Barnaget. That would be quite an interesting video. Do a 4 or 5-way shootout. Right. I took this lid off a tobacco in order to do a pressing, and I can't remember for the life of me what tobacco it is. I'll tell you what, it's aging nicely. I'm getting quite a nice... It's just sitting in the lid, just with the paper, and it's getting some nice sugar crystals on it. I'm just not sure what it is. It smells like it's got possibly a little bit of a topping on there. It might be some Erin more, but I'm not sure. Right, let's put this back. That one back up there. Okay. Right, what have I missed? You have no friends in Great Britain? No. You've always got the YTPC. Somebody mentioned the Salami a little bit earlier on in the chat. I've only tried the Silver Flake so far. I've got a tin jarred up and I've got a tin unopened. Hey old dirty piper, I just subscribed to you about half an hour ago. I think it was John that was giving you a shout out. I was just watching the state of your state of the YTPC, and I had a little monologue about it, somewhat in disagreement to your position. In the politest kind of way, of course. Thank you, Calamos. Los Brutos. Yes, I did. I sent it out yesterday. Right, man. In fact, I just uploaded a video as we were live. It was still uploading, but it is live now. And I just mentioned all the people that I've sent packages out to. No grudges here. No grudges whatsoever. I know you're kidding, but there's no grudges. No, I don't know who NT Wright is. John, is that who you were referring to last night? Interesting that you should say it's... Hi, Paul. It's interesting that you should say it's powerful, Solani. I didn't get that at all. I found it to be quite insipid. Not much flavour, quite subtle. Let me not say it in a negative way to say that it was not much flavour. I found it very subtle. Never heard of him. Never heard of him. NT Wright. I'll have a look. Your search for Penzance is a rough road, old dirty piper. I think you should just stick to Captain Black. Just kidding. Yeah, it's a rough road. I've struggled myself recently. I was very lucky at the beginning when I first started smoking a pipe that I managed to get some tins, and I managed to get an 8-ounce bag at one stage. And I gave a lot of that 8-ounce bag away. But once that diminished and finished, I struggled big time. And I've only recently just got a tin from Old Berg, from Todd. Trying to remember if somebody else sent me some. Yeah, the guy that I met recently, there's a video up, Justin, he gave me a nice baggie of Penzance as well. I didn't give the whole bag away at one go. It's just that because I got an 8-ounce bag, and I know the struggle that people had at the time. I'm going back a couple of years, you know, when I was fairly early on into my journey. So I just wanted other people to experience it, and I just sent out little baggies. Whenever I sent something out, I sent a little bit of that as well, especially to people who I know hadn't tried it and were looking to try it. So I got through that fairly quickly, that bag. I haven't tried Pembroke. No. I haven't tried that many of them. I've tried of the Esotericas. I've tried Penzance, Stonehaven. I've got a little bit of Stonehaven left, just a few flakes. I've tried Margate. I have some Margate. I think I have a bag of Margate. And So to Bed. I think I've got a bag of that as well. What else? I can't remember. Oh, Brighton as well, which is a very bright Virginia. Pembroke is not Penzance with a topping, as far as I know. Pembroke is it's a Virginia with some wine or brandy or cognac, I think it is, as a topping. I might be wrong. I mean, it's very possible that it's something similar to Penzance. But essentially the main difference is, yeah, it has Latakia. The main difference is the cognac topping on it. But I can't comment because I've never tried it. Those tree nuns, yes. Oi. I'm trying to remember if I ever tried Commonwealth, but no, it doesn't. Thank you very much for the offer, very generous, but it doesn't appeal to me. I'm not into really heavy Latakias. Woodbridge I've tried as well, actually. I do have a jar of that somewhere. Woodbridge is also a bright Virginia with some fruity topping. It's quite nice as a condiment, you know, from time to time. That's April 2017, Woodbridge. Whoa, that smells so fermented. This hasn't been opened in probably a year or so. Last time I tried it. Still soaking wet. Quite a fruity, spicy aroma to that. Hey Tim, how you doing? Well, Jan is in the UK at the moment. Or has he shown a bunch of it on his channel? I haven't watched his last video. Which one is that, Old Dirty Piper? The Commonwealth? Or Woodbridge? Oh, Woodbridge. Well, for somebody who's championing all the old OTC blends, you seem to be well into the Esoterica blends. Jeff the Chef. Hey Jeff, how you doing? I'll have to watch more of your videos, Old Dirty Piper, to really get a bit more of an understanding of your sense of humour and your general disposition. So why Jeff the Chef? Are you a chef? Yes. Cool. What kind of stuff are you, what's your favourite thing to cook? Mike, yes it is. Jermaine's Special Latakia is a wonderful tobacco. Needs to really be sat down with and focused on to get the different levels and layers of flavour. And I'm sure you've all seen my videos about how the distribution of the Latakia is different to virtually any other blend out there, which makes it interesting, a very interesting blend. But the Latakia in that is awesome, absolutely awesome. And the way it blends with the Virginias, which are a really sort of sweet, I get even almost an almondy kind of flavour with it when that Latakia blends and melds with the Virginia. Somehow it creates a little bit of an almond paste flavour. It's just fantastic. Very nice, chef. I don't think so. I might have tried the Robert McConnell Oriental, I'm not sure. I do have a tin of Astley's, I'm not sure which number it is, which I bought from Pipe Stud, which is on its way to me. And that's an old tin. But if I bought it recently, it's most likely a Virginia. Good for you, Old Dirty. That's a good tobacco. I did see some differences between one tin and another, but it's a very nice tobacco, really nice. It's nice and rich, sweet, rich, spicy. Typical of the McClelland Christmas cheer type of tobacco. Well, if it smells good to you, then you're in for a treat, because some people get put off by the smell. I certainly was the first time I ever experienced McClelland. The first time I experienced one of the Christmas cheers was that 2014 Christmas cheer, which I got from Stutter, from Cynthia and Susan. And I didn't touch it for about a year. I tried it once and then didn't touch it because that vinegar smell put me off so much. It was alien to me, that aroma, because here in England there's nothing like that. But it's fantastic, it's tobacco. Very nice, Sam. What about a pipe? Or is it just the country gentleman that you have? Ugh. Boswell's Northland? Do you mean northwards? You think it smells like McClelland's? Let's have a whiff. No, not at all. I don't know where you get that from. But as they say, we all have our own palates and our own nasal preferences, I guess. Do Sam, do corn cobs take on a flavour? I know meerschaums don't. If you've only got one corn cob, how does that work with all different blends? Do you find that the flavours migrate over from one blend to another, from one smoke to the next? Cheers, Northeast. Have a great day. Right, I've got to go off and find another cable. My phone's about to die. Gentlemen, thanks very much for joining. Just a short quickie. It's 50 minutes before we try, without trying. So thanks very much for joining. Cheers, Paul. Have a great one. Thanks, Sam Online, Ross, John, Northeast Piper, Joe, Old Dirty Piper. Thanks for joining. Nice to talk to you for the first time, Pipe Man. And everybody else, Jeff the Chef. Hopefully we'll see you again soon. Mike in Austria. Dublin Pipe. Everybody, have a great day, and I'll catch you on the next one.